Hello, welcome to Rando Tech Info. So today we're reviewing the BN5 on-ear headphones from Riwbox. Now, if over-ear headphones are more your thing, I just recently reviewed the XBT 880s from Riwbox. So you can click on the link over my head and watch that if you're interested. So the unboxing experience with these headphones is pretty much what you'd expect. They come in this nice gold and gray box, and within inside that box you have the headphones themselves. You have a pair of instructions. You have a warranty card, charging cable, and you have this cord, which is probably the most significant thing that allows you to use the headphones when your battery is depleted. You can just plug directly into your audio source with it. I will be mentioning this cord a couple other times throughout the video, but for the most part, I'm happy to report you're not going to need it much. So a couple other quick things before we get started on the actual review. These headphones right now cost $31.98, and you can get them off Riwbox's own website, and I will leave a link in the description to that website to pick those up. You can also pick them up on the Zon for the same amount. So first, let's talk about the sound. The sound on these things is quite good. The highs, the mids, the lows, everything comes in well. So really there's three main styles of audio listening devices. There's over-ear headphones, on-ear headphones, and kind of your bud type headphones. Remember, these are on-ear headphones. So over-ear headphones kind of tend to offer the best noise isolation and sound, generally speaking. Buds over here are kind of the least impressive, and then you've got the on-ear headphones in the middle, which is what these are. And I have to tell you, the sound quality on these is much closer to over-ear headphones than they are to buds. If you're someone who's used to listening to buds, you are really going to be impressed with how rich the sound is on these things. And bass, you get so much more bass on these bigger type of can type headphones than you do with earbud type listening devices. So the sound quality overall is really good, especially when you consider the price point. The noise isolation is also pretty good considering they're on-ear headphones. When you put these things on, it does a really nice job of blocking out the outside world. There's no active noise cancellation on these, and you wouldn't expect that for this price. But overall, the isolation and the sound quality is really good, and I'm going to give the grade on these things a B+. One other thing I wanted to mention as well is the cord. The sound quality with or without the cord was the same. I could not tell the difference. So you don't have to worry about plugging in the cord to get that best sound. You will get the best sound through the Bluetooth, no problem. So next up, call quality on these things. Call quality is pretty good. So when you're listening to somebody on a call, the sound is fantastic. As far as what they hear from you when you're talking, when using the microphones on these things, there's a slightly different experience when you've got the cord in as opposed to just using Bluetooth. And it's one of the only times on this device that actually matters a little bit. So in Bluetooth, you can sometimes sound a little bit garbled, a little bit muffled. You may have to talk a little bit louder than you're used to be clear. It's not a big deal, but just something to mention. When using the cord, people seem to think that you came through much more clearly, and I agree with that. When I flip the script and I listen to other people using the cord, I agree it was a little bit cleaner, but there can be a little bit of an echo. So depending on what environment you're in will kind of determine how you want to do this. I don't know if you'd want to do a 2-hour long conference call with these things, but for a short conversation, they definitely get the job done, and I'm going to give call quality on these a B-. So next, let's talk about fit and comfort with these things. A lot of headphones, especially cheaper headphones, more value-priced headphones like these aren't the most comfortable. Usually they don't have a lot of padding here around the headpiece, but these do. There's actually a fair amount of cushion here. So when you wear these, you can wear them for a very long time, and they're pretty lightweight. So they don't weigh down on your head real bad. I've worn these for hours at a time. They've never felt uncomfortable to me. There's also a pretty generous amount of padding on the earpieces themselves. So comfort on these things is actually really, really good. I've enjoyed wearing them. Like I said, I never get tired of wearing them. You can drop them down around your neck. When you're not listening, you can actually still hear them when they're down around your neck. The sound is plenty loud to do that if you choose. That way you can still kind of hear what's going on around you. So overall, comfort on these is really good, and I'm going to go ahead and give them an A-. So next, let's talk about battery life. Like the XBT 880s that I reviewed before this from Riwbox, the battery life on these is nuts. I've had these things for 2 weeks. I've listened to them almost exclusively in Bluetooth mode. The only time I used the cord was just to test it for this video, and I still haven't had to charge it. Like, it's that good. I think they're still at like 50% after hours of use. There was one day I remember I started using them when they were at 90%, and I used them for about 3.5 hours. When I was done, they were still at 90%. So you're never going to run out of battery with these things. And even if you do, if for some weird reason you would run out of battery, then you've got the cord to use until you have a chance to get them charged up. So battery life on these things is fantastic. Easy grade, I'm going to give it an A. So next I'm going to talk about connectivity with these things. Connectivity is great. Over the many hours of use that I've used these things, I've never once had any kind of drops with the Bluetooth, not on a call, not when listening to music, not when playing games, watching video, nothing. The connection has been very stable, and it works over a fairly long distance. I don't know exactly how far, but I've been able to get very far away from these things, either when I'm working out or just when I tested them outside, and the distance is good. You're not going to have in day-to-day use, you're never going to get so far from these things that you're going to lose your connection. So overall, another easy grade for these things. Connectivity, going to give it an A. So next, let's actually talk about the look of these things. I actually think they look pretty good. I don't think they look too obnoxious. The gold, the shinier gold definitely stands out, but I don't think it looks crazy. They're on-ear headphones, so they're not like huge cans that make you look like some type of crazy audiophile. Obviously, the look of something, whether you like it or not, is very subjective. Personally, I think it looks pretty good, and since it's my review, I'm going to go ahead and give the look of these things a B+. So next up, I want to talk about the controls on these, and the controls are pretty standard fare. They're very similar to what you see on a lot of different headphones like this. There's 3 buttons over here on the side. They're pretty easy to get to, and they're relatively easy to be able to tell which button you're pressing. There's 2 buttons together and there's one separate, and the separate button is obviously your power button. It's what pauses and plays your music, and then the other 2 buttons can skip tracks and turn your volume up and down. They do have a nice clicky feel to them, and you can, once you get used to them and where they're at and how they're laid out, you won't have any trouble using the controls on these. Controls with the cord are, as you would expect, not quite as friendly. There's 1 button on the cord that you can use to pause and play, press it twice to skip a track, hit it 3 times to go back to the previous track, stuff like that. Once again, pretty standard fare. It works, it does the job. I'm going to give the controls overall on these things a B. So finally, I want to talk about lag and latency on this device. So as you would expect, when watching videos or consuming media, there's no lag. You wouldn't expect there to be. Most earbuds and headphones do a pretty good job with that. But what makes these really interesting and what makes them really special is that there's no lag when gaming. This is actually pretty rare. Normally, even with high-end pairs of earbuds and headphones, like I have a pair of Galaxy Buds Plus, and when I game with those, there's almost like a full second delay from when an action is taken within the game to when I can hear it through the buds. With these, it's instantaneous. There's no gaming lag, and that's actually really rare. Unless you get like a gaming-centric type of audio device, there's almost always gaming lag. So these, in Bluetooth mode, don't have it. So like normally with a pair of headphones, I gotta plug in a cord and use them if I want to get rid of the lag. You don't have to do that with this. You can game in Bluetooth mode, lag free, and really get a nice gaming experience. So that's a big plus with these that I wasn't expecting to have. So lag and latency on this device, definitely going to give it an A. So where does that leave us, and what is my final grade on this device? So I think what really struck me with this device is that there's just nothing bad about it. It's $32, just under $32, and for that amount, everything on it is either good or great. It's got good sound, it's comfortable, it has great connectivity, great battery life, great lag even when gaming. These headphones will do whatever you need them to do, and it will do those things well. So I'm actually really impressed with these headphones, and they're going to have a spot in my nightside bedstand at home, and I will use them, particularly when I'm gaming. These headphones will become a part of my daily rotation with audio devices, so I really can't give it a much higher compliment than that. They're not quite perfect. The call quality could be a little bit better. The sound could maybe have a little bit deeper bass, but overall, these are really good headphones for the money, and I'm going to go ahead and give them an A-. Well, that's all the useful information I have today about the BN5s from Riwbox. If there's something that I didn't cover in the video that you still want to know about, please let me know down in the comments, and I will get back to you. As always, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Rando Tech Info, signing out.